Hi, everybody. Welcome to Christian Homestead. My name is Jared. My mind has been blown again. We're going to look at this church news article. More than 85,000 of other faiths enroll in seminary and institute. There was a major thing, I guess, that I missed. Something that is adding to this massive thing that's taking place in the church right now. All these people that are joining the church, these record breaking numbers. I feel like things are at fever pitch, frankly. So let's just get into it. This is an article by Rachel Sturzer Gibson. 2026 has been a banner year for seminaries and institutes of religion for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In 2026, Institute marked its 100th anniversary. Also in 2026, the Lord's prophet, President Dallin H. Oaks, promised special blessings to those who attend. Then, in March, seminaries and institutes announced a major milestone, a combined enrollment of more than 1 million students worldwide. Now, we've already covered that, but there's more to this story than what I realized. Continuing, and that momentum continues close to 5 months later. Okay, so they hit the 1 million student mark. 1 million. Close to 5 months later, worldwide enrollment in the seminary and institute programs now exceeds 1,090,000, including more than 85,000 friends of other faiths, according to a notice published on churchofjesuschrist.org. Okay, so they have had, within 5 months, after hitting that milestone, that record-breaking number, within 5 months, they've had a 9% increase. They've added on almost an entire additional 100,000 students. So that's kind of a big deal. That's not the focus of this video, but that's kind of a big highlight. Like, what is going on? I have all these second coming quotes on my second coming quotes spreadsheet that have to do with institute and seminary. There's like something going on right now. But anyway, let's continue. Actually, before I do, I want to share something with you really quick. So you see that globe in the background over there? I'm getting rid of that because I have finally gotten myself a tiny 3D temple, 3D printed Kansas City, Missouri temple. This is the extra large version. I have wanted this for so long. It comes with a little angel Moroni on top. So you can see how big it is here. This is the largest size. But I love miniatures. And I couldn't find anywhere online that had any miniature Kansas City, Missouri temples. And it's probably the same thing with most of you. Think about your favorite temple, or think about all your favorite temples. You're probably not going to find a little miniature like this unless it's like a really popular temple, like the Salt Lake Temple, maybe the San Diego Temple. I don't know. But the only place I could find one was with tiny 3D temples. So I have a link for you in the description box. Click on that link. You'll get 15% off. But let me just show you a couple things. So I think their most popular product is the replica statues. And you have all the temples. So just think about that. If you'd like your favorite temple for your office or, I don't know, for your bedroom, for the entertainment center, whatever, you might want to check this out. Let's just look at the Albuquerque, New Mexico temple. You have these different sizes. So the small one is really cheap. It's only $15. If you want to go up to medium, it's 22, and then 35 for large. And then the extra large, which is what I have, is $70, but it's well worth it. This is going to be a major part of my background. And here's another like size comparison. You could see it when I was holding it up, but That's what these temples look like compared to the Book of Mormon. So 15% off if you use the code. You can see in the background there, they also sent me a family proclamation decoration. So I'm starting to fill up my wall, which I've been wanting to do and still got a ways to go. But now I have the family proclamation from 3D Tidying Temples. That's on here too. And then I just wanted to highlight one other thing that I thought was really neat. They have these state signs. So it's like 2-dimensional. It has your state and then your temple inside of it. So I would encourage you to do this. It would make a great gift for your loved ones. We do have to start thinking about Christmas. I mean, it is August, but now we're over the hump. And I don't know about you, but I'm starting to buy Christmas presents. So you might want to start thinking about that now. So from now on, after this video, I'm going to have my, oh, sorry, I didn't show the picture of it. Did I? These are the state signs I was talking about. Sorry. I think they look really good. But yeah, from now on, I'm going to have my Kansas City, Missouri temple in the background. It's going to take the place of the white globe. All right, back to the church news article. And we'll get to something I missed, and it's kind of a big deal. Okay, under this section, Seminary and Institute Invite a Friend initiative. In the spring of 2025, seminaries and institutes, in collaboration with the missionary department, should I highlight that? In collaboration with the missionary department, began an Invite a Friend initiative, encouraging students to invite others to attend class with them. Quote, when a young person personally invites a friend to join an institute class or activity, it carries special power, Brother Webb said during the 2026 annual training for seminary and institute teachers. Their authentic testimonies and friendships are essential in welcoming all to attend. Okay, so I didn't know about this, but it's kind of a big deal because look at this. Okay, so the missionary department collaborated with them to do this initiative. And look why that might be. I mean, we already know why, but look at this. These simple, individualized invitations are working. During a church news podcast earlier this year, Yad Danso, Associate Administrator of Seminaries and Institutes of Religion, spoke of an institute in Brazzaville, Congo, with about 3,000 students coming every week. Quote, more than half of them are friends of the church, which I can't even imagine that. Did you ever go to seminary or institute? I did. I graduated from seminary. I took it in high school. I went to Murray High School. And so it's nice in Utah because I'm assuming all high schools in Utah probably have a seminary building on campus. That's how it was for me. And then when I was going to college, I went to institute and I loved going to institute. But could you imagine more than half not being members of the church? That's mind blowing. Okay, but anyway, this is in the Congo. Continuing, Danso said, and they come to institute, they feel the spirit, they learn about Jesus Christ, and they continue coming. So it's just been an incredible thing to see. Peers inviting peers, and they come, end quote. In that same episode, Brother Webb noted, this is happening everywhere. Quote, they are friends of other faiths who come and join us in classes all over the world, end quote. Now, here's the real thing right here as we think about this initiative that I didn't know about that started in April of last year. Think about this. In 2025, more than 72,000 friends of other faiths enrolled in seminary and institute. Quote, and that's not just coming once to a class with a friend or to an activity. I can't believe this. They actually are enrolled in the class, 72,000 worldwide, and many of them do eventually become baptized members of the church, said Brother Webb. In an interview last year about the growth in seminary enrollment. Brother Webb noted that about 1 in 3 who enroll in a seminary or institute class will eventually be baptized. That's the thing right there. And that's the last highlight that I have for this article. 1 in 3. So look, we just read that there's 85,000 that are friends of other faiths currently. And so a third of that is 28,333. Okay. So what I did, I wanted to read just a little bit more about this initiative, and then I've added this to my my timeline of missionary work. Let's go to this January 13th, 2026 article from Newsroom titled, New Resources Help Youth and Young Adults Invite a Friend to Seminary and Institute. Since April 2025, an ongoing initiative from seminaries and institutes of religion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has highlighted a simple and effective way for youth and young adults to participate in the gathering of Israel by inviting their friends to seminary and institute. Thousands of friends of other faiths have since enrolled, which I don't know. Sorry, that just blows my mind. Enrollment among members is at a record high. Quote, the Invite a Friend initiative brought a new level just by encouraging both seminary and institute students to invite their friends, said Becky Scott, Associate Administrator of Operations for Seminaries and Institutes, during a recent Church News podcast. Continuing, she says, this last year, we've seen more than 72,000 friends of the faith in both seminary and institute enroll in our classes. That's an incredible number. The impact of one friend, pay attention to this, okay? Because we just talked about the number, it was like 28,000. The impact of one friend inviting another friend can affect an entire family. So it's not just 28,000, and I don't know what the number is, but it's more than 28,000. So you have people that may bring the family that they already have into the church because of their contact and their with the church and enrollment in seminary or institute. But then some of these, they may not be married yet, and they'll join the church, and then they'll get married and then start a family. So it's existing family, and then when they join the church, it may be that they will start a family. But it's not just one person that this affects, probably, in most cases. So what I did is, I'm sorry about my voice. I don't know what's going on with me today. So what I did is I added this to my spreadsheet called Timeline Missionary Work, and I'm categorizing this as an all hands on deck item. There have been all these things that the church has been doing, especially since President Nelson's presidency, where it's like the church is asking for all hands on deck. Everybody and anybody that can serve a mission, please do so. We're going to lower the mission age. We're going to change the rules for men, like single men that are 40 and older. Now you can go on missions. And there's just been like all these things. I'm not going to review it again, but this is another one. So these are seminary and institute students. They're not like on a full-time mission. They haven't been called on a mission, but they are acting as missionaries, member missionaries, when they invite their friends. So if you have any kids that are going to seminary and institute, or if you are going to institute, you might want to think about this. You might want to think about your friends and family that are not members of the church that would also like to go, because nowadays, I guess it's not too hard to make that happen. The world is changing. You really might want to think about that. Okay, so I've added this on here. I wonder if I could quickly count up how many all hands on deck items I have on here. So we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my gosh. 13 all hands on deck situations. One of them is from President Hinckley's presidency, and then we got 2 from President Monson's. But all the rest of them were during President Nelson's presidency or afterwards. Already, already, President Oaks still has not reached his 1-year mark, which is crazy because it feels like it's been a year or more, but he hasn't. So already he has had 4 all hands on deck items on this timeline. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. It is fever pitch. I also just really quick wanted to read a couple things. The Church News article made reference to this Church News podcast last year where they were interviewing at the time Chad H. Webb. I should probably do brother Chad H. Webb, administrator for seminaries and institutes of religion. And he was talking about reaching this milestone. He said, something wonderful has been happening among young adults. And it's not just seminaries and institutes, it's also college enrollment and other things. And also people going on missions. We're having a missionary surge. Okay, something wonderful has been happening among young adults. And then later on, I'm just going to skip down. He says, in speaking about the growth of seminary and institute during an interview last year, Brother Webb attributed the increase to a variety of factors, including personal invitations from prophets. I believe he's referring to this. This is from November 2023, President Nelson. President Nelson issues special personal invitations to youth and single adults, and it has to do with seminary and institute. And then at the beginning, toward the beginning of President Oaks' presidency, February of this year, as Institute celebrates 100 years, President Oaks issues a special invitation to young adults across the world. So we've had both these prophets do these invitations. I don't think there's anything like this from President Monson. I guess I can't be sure at the moment. But whatever the case, it's just like that other quote that I have where they were talking about the surge in missionaries, the number of missionaries. And someone said, I don't know if it was, can't remember if it was Elder Cook or somebody else, but they said, we don't know how to explain it other than a prophet spoke. It was President Nelson during this one particular general conference. A prophet spoke and the youth have responded, and they're just going on missions in like these large numbers, record-breaking numbers. So this is crazy. And then at the end, he makes a reference to the second coming. He says, the Lord is really blessing his children and hastening his work. Hastening the work is in reference to preparing for the second coming, hurrying up to be ready as much as possible for the second coming. So we have that. I just want to hit a couple other quotes while we're here. Nope. We got to go back. We got this from Elder Clark G. Gilbert. At this time, he was in the 70, but he is now an apostle. And we'll start right here. Seminary. So this is June 11th, 2025. Seminary enrollment is at a record level across this church, Elder Gilbert said. Both the total number of students and the percentages participating. Enrollment at our universities continues to set records, even at a time when many people are not going to college. Institute is at its highest level ever in the history of the church. End quote. As such, teachers within the church educational system have a responsibility, Elder Gilbert continued. In the words of President Nelson, we are preparing a people who will help prepare the world for the second coming of the Lord. So there is a direct, explicit tie-in to the second coming with what's going on in the church education system and education in general. I think I had a couple more. Okay, we got this from Bradley R. Wilcox. At this time, he was second counselor in the Young Men General Presidency. October 12th, 2021. This was an Ensign College devotional. I think this is actually the last quote that I want to share. I'm just going to read. Well, the name of the talk is called There is a Hurry, which is very telling. I'm just going to read this last paragraph. A study was done to determine the influence of church programs on teenage testimonies, and there were two that tied for first place. Of all the programs of the church, including Sunday meetings, the two that tied for first place were Seminary and EFY. You will have the chance in 1 week to have the kind of impact that will gather Israel in a big way. That gathering matters. The work of salvation and exaltation matters. Preparing for the second coming matters. There is a hurry. And then interestingly, FSY was supposed to kick off in 2020. Well, we all know what happened then. Then it was supposed to roll out in 2021. And once again, it was stopped by the COVID pandemic. Next summer, it is going to roll out. At this point, the youth don't even know what it is. This FSY that he's referring to is the same one where President Nelson said, "We are in the last half of the ninth inning." We're at that point when the game's on the line. So, I don't know. I'm just amazed. I can't believe that I didn't catch this initiative, invite a friend to seminary and institute, but it's another major development that we've seen in the church. It's an all hands on deck. Please invite your friends to seminary and institute. And guess what? 1/3 of them are going to get baptized. This is such an exciting time to be alive, you guys. Okay, that's going to be it for this one. Again, make sure to order your tiny 3D temple, whatever size works for you. If you have a temple that they don't make very much for by way of statues and miniatures, you can get it there. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.